Morning guys, Cheri from the Watering Mouth here, doing another what I eat in a day to lose weight video based on the Eat to Live diet. So all of these foods are whole foods, plant foods, super high nutrient, wonderful, yummy stuff. And it's also really good at helping us lose weight. So I personally am so close to my goal weight, my lifetime goal weight. I'm at 118 right now. The last time we spoke, I was at 124. So I've been able to lose 6 pounds eating these types of foods and these types of meals. You know, when we think about weight loss in the Eat to Live lifestyle, we think of what's optimal for life, what's optimal for health and our longevity. And so it's important for us to be at a good, healthy weight. And these are the types of foods that get us there. So I'm just gonna start my day off with some matcha tea. Before breakfast, I just got out of the shower, I didn't do my hair yet. I think matcha is really amazing and I think everyone should drink it. And it's very different from maybe what you're used to with just regular green tea. So I'm gonna start off with just a little bit of boiling water. I don't need to get a lot because I'm not actually gonna use boiling water for the tea. And then here is my, well, it's a little buried. And then here is my matcha green tea. This cup here. And here, this one. This is like a funny container, but it's really awesome because actually it helps you measure the tea very easily. See, it's got this really cool pour spout. So just 2 or 3 shakes into a cup is 1 serving size. So just go 1, 2, 3 like that. And you've got this really nice vibrant green powder. Put some water in there, some room temperature water. I have this boiling water here, so just add a little bit to get it warm. And it's done. So I have my matcha tea here. It's not too hot so you can drink it right away. It's got a really mild flavor. So this is how I start off with my matcha, and I'm just gonna move on to a smoothie after this. And I forgot to mention in the beginning of this video, but I'm gonna give you recipes for each of these meals that I'm making today. So every time I do a video, I offer some type of a tip sheet, a cheat sheet, or recipes, or all of the above. And so this one you can access at thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheets. And if you sign up there, you can actually access all of the old cheat sheets that I've given before. So all the old recipes and tips and stuff like that from my old videos. So make sure you sign up for that. I usually have smoothies in the morning because I can get tons of greens in and lots of really good vegetables first thing. So the thing is, it's October, November right now, and it's really starting to get cold. And I don't usually want a cold smoothie at this time. So I've started to make these warm smoothies. And this one today is called my warm apple cobbler smoothie. So I'm gonna show you how I make this one. It's kind of necessary that you have a super high speed blender like the Vitamix. This is my blender here. And it can go so fast and has such a strong motor, like 2 horsepower or something, that if you leave the smoothie mixture in there for like 3, 4, 5 minutes at a time, it starts to actually warm it up. That's how you can make soup and stuff from scratch as well. It'll actually warm it up itself. So I use that to make the smoothie warm, and then it's really nice and cozy, and I love the flavor. So I'll show you how I make it. Okay, so I always like to start out with dates because they're super sweet. I'm gonna just use 2 dates for this recipe. If you're not so much into sweetness, you don't have to use dates at all, but I use 2 medjool dates, so I just throw those in the blender. Then I always add my greens. So today I'm using baby romaine. I'm gonna put a bunch of this in here because the whole point of this smoothie is so that you can get greens in the morning. Then I've got kale, so you can just slide your hand down the stem and it will get that kale off the stem. I don't like to use stems just because they're pretty bitter. So I slide like that, slide like this, put the kale in. Well, I usually use almond milk in my smoothies, so I'm gonna add about a cup. So this is basically the base I use for every smoothie I ever make. It's usually dates plus greens plus almond milk. I start there and then I build other flavors on top of that. You can switch up the types of greens you use. You can not use dates and more different fruit or whatever you like, but just make sure you get a lot of those greens in there. That's where all those nutrients come from. And having a blender like the Vitamix ensures that you're going to be getting a lot more of those nutrients, breaking down all those cell walls in the greens. Ground flaxseed in my smoothies. That's an ingredient you want to be eating every single day. Ground flaxseed, great for anti-cancer purposes. Now this one is a warm apple cobbler smoothie. So here's what I put in for that. An apple, a whole banana, and then the secret couple ingredients here that really give it that flavor is oatmeal, and this is just raw rolled oats. Cinnamon. Oops, I forgot one ingredient, and that is 2 tablespoons of raw unsalted walnuts, which gives it a really nice nutty flavor and some good fat. Some people might have a little bit of trouble digesting raw oatmeal, so feel free to put cooked oatmeal in. Then you can use like 1/3 of a cup or 1/2 cup cooked. And this is the part where I turn it on high and let it run for about 3 or 4 minutes so it will warm it up a bit. And you can't see it, but it is steaming a little bit, so it's not hot, it's just warm. Oh, that's so good. Nice and warm, and it's got a really nice flavor from that oatmeal. It makes it taste like the cobbler. So this is my breakfast. I made a little bit more than a 30-ounce smoothie. I have some left in the Vitamix. So I'm gonna actually drink this whole thing for breakfast. And this is the size meal that we eat when we're on this lifestyle. You know, oftentimes when you're dieting and you're trying to lose weight, you have to portion control, eat small little bits of things. But for us, we are actually changing that completely around, and that we eat huge portions of stuff, but lower calorie type foods like the greens and the apples and things like that, versus meat and dairy that have lots of calories per volume. This way we're getting tons and tons of nutrients, we're getting lower calories, and we're getting more satisfied. Cravings are satisfied more throughout the day and throughout the time that we're doing this type of a lifestyle, because we are getting so many nutrients. Cravings tend to come a lot from lack of nutrients in the body. So as long as we're getting lots of these greens, green vegetables, we're gonna be getting tons of nutrients that will help with that, okay? So here's my breakfast. I'm gonna have this now, and I try to do 3 meals a day, no snacking. So I'm gonna come back when I make lunch and show you what I'm having. All right, it is 12:38. Lunchtime. I'm starved. I'm gonna make a very quick salad and show you how I'm making it. The important part of this, you guys, is it's quick and easy, but also it's very big. So when you have a salad as a meal, don't try to do that like typical diet thing where you just have like a little portion and you try and get through and just white knuckle your way through to the next meal. That's not what we're trying to do. We're actually trying to really have a huge meal of vegetables and lots of really yummy, high nutrient, low calorie, high fiber kind of food, so that we can get through to our next meal and not feel deprived. All right, so here's what I'm doing for this salad. Very simple. It's just going to be a base of greens plus some tofu, pineapple, red onion, and pecans. If you're new to tofu, you can either serve it just like this or you can cook it. For simplicity and quickness, I would suggest that you just chop it up and put it in your salad a little bit, but I've been just sauteing it in a pan for the last couple weeks, and I really like that because it gets some brownness on it and removes some of the water. So tofu's always packed in water, so I don't have a fancy tofu press or anything, so I just squeeze it as if I was the tofu press for a little while, and see a bunch of that water is just running out. So you just squeeze that for a while and get as much water out as you can. It's not a big deal because I think it's actually really yummy, and I don't mind it being a little bit wet like that. But if you wanted to invest in a tofu press or something, you could do that too. But then when I go to saute it, most of that water comes out anyhow. I'm gonna chop up my tofu and just put it into the pan. If you haven't used tofu a lot in your life before, it does have a kind of beany flavor, kind of, you know, it's made from soybeans. It is soybeans, so it has a beany type of flavor. But it also depends on the brand that you buy. If you buy the generic stuff, it tastes a lot. If you buy the generic stuff, it tastes a lot more beany than if you buy the high quality stuff. So that's what I like to do, is buy the real high quality stuff, because I like it to have a mild flavor and a really nice smooth texture, and that's how I buy it. So here is the tofu in the pan. I just put this on pretty high. This is like close to high. And then I just let it saute for, I think it usually takes about 10 minutes. As you're cooking it, you can just kind of like leave it and it will brown on each side, and just kind of shake it around, and you've got some really nice, a little bit drier tofu, and it will have a nice, like lightly brown toasted crust. So you can eat it that way and then just store it in the fridge. You can eat it, you know, on a salad or just as a side little snack with your meal. You could even then throw it into soup or something, and it's a great protein source for every once in a while. You don't want to eat tofu all the time because it is a processed food, but it's way less processed than many other tofu products, so it's a good choice of a soy product, sort of a replacement for beans. But you do want to be eating whole regular beans most of the time when you can. so tofu is a great choice on occasion. I'm gonna get the rest of my salad ready while my tofu is cooking. But if you wanted to make this a super quick meal, you could just sprinkle some of that tofu onto your salad and be done with it. So I highly suggest using pre-bagged greens as a base for your salad because it's just gonna cut out so much of the work for you. And most importantly, the barrier to entry to eating salad every day. It's worth that premium price if it's hard for you to eat salad, because this way you know it's already washed. All you have to do is maybe chop it a little bit or just break it up a little bit, throw it into a bowl. That's exactly what I'm gonna be doing. This is my favorite kind of green. It's this Butter Plus by Organic Girl. I love it so much. I'm gonna start with a base of this stuff. I'm just gonna use half of it now. And I'm gonna add a bunch of arugula. Arugula is a cruciferous green, so you're gonna get some really good cancer fighting nutrients. And I like the mix of arugula plus a milder green. That's usually what I start my salads out with. Keep in mind, I always say a salad should start out with 5 to 6 cups of greens, and not like the big non-chopped greens. I mean chopped greens. So chop them up and then you can measure your base of your salad. Tofu's cooking good over here. I'm gonna turn this down because this is browning too much. I can smell it. It's a little too brown. It looks good, but we typically don't like to brown food too much because that browning is actually not a very healthy component of food. So whenever you see something brown, that's not a positive. So I'm turning down the heat a little bit so we can get a nice gentle brown on this tofu, and at the same time get rid of a bunch of the water that's inside of it. A good handful of this butter lettuce. I'm just gonna break it into the bowl. This is about probably 1.5 to 2 cups once chopped, so or once broken up. So that's just a little bit of our salad. It's not enough to be a good base yet. If I pile this in there kind of loosely still, but you can see there's 1 cup. And then if I pile the rest in, maybe this will make 2 cups. We'll see. Yeah, that's about 2 cups. Got 2 cups there. Now I just need 3 to 4 more cups. So I'm gonna take a bunch of this arugula. And I'm just measuring it because I want to show you guys how much 5 or 6 cups is, but I know already in the size of my bowl how much that is, but I'm just gonna show you anyways. It's about 1 cup. This is the base of my salad. Now you can see this is like a lot of greens. It's a lot. I'm just gonna stir this tofu while I'm at it. And you can see it's getting nicer, less intense type brown here on the bottom of this, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. Just a nice little golden brown. The concern for many people is, oh, I don't like the flavor, I don't like greens, I don't like to eat that. I understand that, I totally get it, and I was that way in the beginning too. It took me a long time to be interested in salads like this over like a big bowl of pasta or something, you know, because that's how I used to always eat, was just pasta and things that had no nutrients whatsoever, muffins and cookies and stuff. That was my whole diet when I was younger. But the more you do this, the better it gets. The more nutrients you take in, the better the body gets at reducing cravings and being interested in this kind of food. So keep at it. It's completely worth it. To be free of cravings, or to at least lessen your cravings over time, that is worth any effort you can put in, I promise you. Okay, so we start off with this salad here, and I'm gonna go to red onion. This might be too much for some of you, but I like it this way. So, you know, you use as much or as little as you can. But onions are a very important part of what we should be eating every day, because they are also very strong anti-cancer foods. So you want to make sure you have some type of raw onion every day. And that's what I'm having today in my salad. As long as you get something that's in the onion family every day. You know, I'm gonna have carrots today too. So I've got these shredded carrots. I'm just gonna throw some in there. Then I'm gonna throw in some fun pineapples. I have some leftover from when I made my daughter's birthday cake. There was a lot of pineapple in it. So my tofu's pretty much done here, and I just turned off the heat. And I think that pineapple and red onion go together so well. Okay, put this in my salad. Now a little bit of pecans. I'm gonna measure these out, 2 tablespoons. I'm just gonna use those. I'm always measuring nuts and seeds nowadays because I really wanna get optimal with my nutrition here. So I'm gonna measure these out and make sure I get just about 1 ounce a day. So I can get all the really good benefits, but not get way too many calories. Also, one of the main things is I don't want to crowd out other vegetables and other foods that have higher nutrient per calorie ratio. By eating too many nuts and seeds, you end up having too many calories, and then you don't have as much room or interest in having things that are lower calorie but lots more nutrients, like greens and veggies. Okay, so I'm gonna put these in here. Here is my lovely, lovely tofu. I'm gonna take about half of this and put it on my salad. My last ingredient is gonna be a little bit of avocado. So try to keep your avocado to about 1/3 of an avocado per day. That way you'll get a lot of really great benefits, but you won't get a ton of calories either, and get those really nice healthy fats. Throw this into my salad and save the rest for tomorrow. Break that up a little. I'm actually using the avocado and the juice from the pineapple as my dressing. So one of my favorite dressings to use is avocado plus lime juice. Today I'm just gonna be using the pineapple instead. So what I'm gonna do is put this in a big huge bowl and mix it up pretty vigorously so the avocado will get spread around a little bit, and it will really coat that salad with a yummy, yummy dressing. So keep in mind, guys, this is a huge salad. Like, I don't know if you can really get the size of this comparatively, but like, this is the kind of salad that I'm talking about we need to eat. If you don't eat this type of a salad, you're just setting yourself up for failure later, to get hungry and to not feel satisfied and to not have gotten enough nutrients to reduce those cravings and make you feel more satisfied. You also need lots of fiber, and you need a lot of bulk. You need a lot of food to feel satisfied, especially when they're lower calorie foods like this. It's gonna keep you at a great weight and help you lose weight. It's also gonna help you with all that detox and stuff, but if you're not satisfied and you're going crazy every day, then it's not worth it to do it. You have to up the amount of food that you're eating, and your body will thank you too. So this is my lunch. Thanks for following along, and I will be coming right back in a little bit to show you how to make the soup I'm having for dinner, quick and easy. All right, it's 5:15. It is time for me to make some dinner. I'm gonna make a really yummy lentil tomato creamy kind of soup. So that's what's on the menu tonight. I'm gonna be using dry lentils and cooking them from scratch, but this would be way faster if you just had the canned lentils. So I'm gonna denote both ways to do this in the recipe and the cheat sheets, so you guys can try it yourself. And here we go. I'm starting by doing a real quick rough chop of some cabbage. Now cabbage is a super anti-cancer type vegetable. Gonna be adding the red onion, same kind of a deal. That's got really good anti-cancer stuff. I'm just gonna put this right into the pot now. I want to mention about red onion. I used to always really struggle with getting the peels off of onions, but then I changed my mind and started to just take out the entire outer layer of onion, because I don't waste it anymore, because I just put it straight into my veggie stock bag. So that way, you know, because I was always really guilty about throwing out so much of the onion, but now I never waste it because it goes into my stock. Also, while you're cooking, always make sure that you turn the knife handle outwards when you go to pick things up, when you set it down, because then you're not going to slice your hand when you go to pick up your ingredients to put them into the bowl or pot, whatever. Not that I know from experience or anything. And while I'm dealing with my lentils, I might as well just start these cooking a little bit. So I've got these on high. The onions are going to give off some water. I'm going to turn it down once it gets heated and just start cooking them a little bit over medium-high heat and get them softened a bit, and then I'm going to put the lentils in as soon as those are done. For my lentils, I'm just going to take a colander like this, do about 2 cups, sift through them, and then I rinse them. I'm going to let them sit for a sec. If your pan was burning these ingredients, you could just add a little vegetable stock. This smells so good already. Holy cow. I added about a tablespoon of stock and just stirred so they wouldn't start burning. Okay, so these are starting to get cooked down a little bit. This is great. I'm going to add my lentils and some liquid and start the lentils cooking. And I'm going to add 4 cups of stock right now. Now this particular stock that I'm using, it actually contains some oil, which is so weird. It's low sodium, but it contains some oil. It's not a ton of oil. It's certainly like enough for me to notice if I use it to stir fry vegetables. So keep an eye out for these hidden ingredients and things. Like for instance, a lot of the times frozen vegetables will have salt in them and other things that you just wouldn't expect because you just think it would be frozen vegetables. But yeah, so this isn't going to be enough water to cook, liquid to cook these lentils. So I'm going to add some more broth or water. I think I'm going to do water because these tomatoes are going to give it a really good flavor. 2 cups of water and let this start boiling. I have it on high again and bring it to a boil, a rolling boil. Okay, now that we have a boil here, I went ahead, I added another cup of water, so that was 3 extra cups of water plus the 4 cups of broth. I'm gonna turn this down to a 5, I guess. I'm gonna let this cook until the lentils are done, and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients and cook it for another 5-10 minutes, and it'll be good to go. Okay, now we add the tomato stuff. I'm just gonna put this right in. I'm just gonna add these, a smaller can of diced tomatoes, and then I'm just gonna cook this for about 5 or 10 minutes. I'm gonna mash down those bigger tomatoes as I stir. Okay, this soup has been cooking for about 15 minutes. I'm gonna add the final ingredient, which is, for the creaminess, some light coconut milk. A can. Yum. Okay, now I'm just gonna let this cook for a little bit longer, but I'm gonna eat my portion now because I'm hungry. This is a nice light soup, and the coconut milk gives it a good little bit of sweetness to kind of balance the acidity of the tomatoes, and it is ready to go. Usually I do soups in about 2-cup portions, so bon appetit, dinner is served. The last ingredient I like to add to my soup right before I have it is some nutritional yeast. I really like that kind of cheesy flavor that it gives. So for each portion, I do this at the end because otherwise I use way too much of my nutritional yeast. I just add 1 to 2 tablespoons for each portion that I'm eating. And just mix that in. Try not to breathe it in. And enjoy. I hope you liked those recipes. I'm down on the floor now because I have a little mutiny going with the kid here. And I think she's about done with me talking to a camera for the day. So one option for that soup, if you want to add a little sweetness to balance that acidity, would be to blend up some dates in that coconut milk. You could do probably 5 dates would be good. Just blend those up and add them to the soup. A good little opposite effect for those tomatoes, but I've used the coconut milk instead, and also to give it some creaminess. I wanted to make them pretty simple this time, so it was easier to make quicker. Thank you for following along with me today. And as I said, all of these recipes are going to be available in the cheat sheet, so make sure you download that, sign up for it at thewateringmouth.com/cheat sheet, and that will be available as well as all the other cheat sheets from before. Let me know down below which recipe you think looks the best to you. Give it any of them a try, let me know what you think. And please consider checking me out on Patreon. This is the website where you can help me pay for a babysitter on the days that I want to film videos like this and edit and all these kinds of things. It's where I'm kind of trying to keep that fund going. So if you like these videos, if they're helpful to you, if they teach you anything or you appreciate them, please consider donating. It would be so wonderful. But also, it's not like just donating. You do get some exclusive content as well that is really helpful too. So please check me out on Patreon. That's patreon.com/thewateringmouth. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!